Hello guys, it's Paula, and I just thought I would do something different today. It's Christmas in July. Sound like an old goofy woman just then. All right guys, it's Christmas in July, so what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to make Christmas. So I really didn't have anything planned. So I just pulled out my massive amount of Christmas from last year when I made 1,000,000 books, which I loved. I loved the whole Christmas season last year. It was a lot of fun. A lot of different books, and I'm planning Good Christmas again this year. I've been purchasing things and collecting things. So I have really been into the whole attaching envelopes to this, to that. And today, oh, you know what? I forgot to get my washi. So I'm going to talk to you while I'm getting my washi. And I'm going to let you look at this and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to get my washi. Give me a second. Sorry about that. I had some interruptions while putting this all together, and washi did not make it to the table. So this is my washi bucket, and I mean bucket. It is I'm trying to get, it's very hard to open actually. It's frustrating, it's so hard. So I'm just looking for the widest Christmas washi that's red. And I think it will be this one. Okay, because we're going to do a flip out. So I just thought, you know, I'm not planning for any book in particular, but I wanted to work with some cardinals. You know, I love my cardinals. So this is a pretty cardinal card. And I also have a second one. This is a pretty cardinal card. So I'm like, I want to make a flip out. I want it to flip and flip and flip, kind of like a folio. And so I just decided to use these. This is a vintage card I got in Ohio when I went to Cleveland Hospital. It was adorable. So I got several of them. They had several. Not a full box, but, you know, enough to craft with. So that cardinal is the front. Now, this is going to look so confusing when I open it up to you. And it was confusing to me until I got it all together. And I hope that if I take it apart, I can get it all back together. So this is going to be the front, and this is the back of the other cardinal card. And what I want to do is attach this just like that in the center of the back of the other card. Okay, so I'm going to pull it out and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, here's the other card. Okay, there's the inside, which we're not going to see in the rest of the project. So I want to cover all this stuff up in the back, but I want to make a pocket. So what we're going to do is, and we can keep our fingers crossed that it works out. We're going to make the pocket come from the top. So you're going to want to put your glue around both sides, right and left, and on the lower. Come on. It's always so slow when I'm trying not to do it too awfully thick. But, you know, that's kind of a joke with me. Hope you guys had a great 4th of July. Man, we had like a major fireworks going on out in our backyard. We have houses all around our pond. I mean, it's a beautiful area where all the pond, and we have ducks, and I mean, you name it. Little duck families and lots of little baby ducks and geese and Cranes, of course, everybody has cranes. So we're going to put this center on the back of this second card. Just enough that we cover up anything and try to center it the best you can. Now, the pocket will come from, the opening of the pocket will come from the top. Now, I'm not going to punch a hole there because, well, I don't know. We'll see. I doubt I will because I really don't want to make the picture look grody or awful or whatever. I really meant to bring over some glitter glue too. Did I? No. But we can always finish it together. Now, let me get a wipey because I'm already getting sticky all over me. What else is new? Okay, now, I'm going to, while we've got this separated from all the other parts, I'm going to go ahead and get this big blob of glue at the bottom. Why it came out there, I don't know. I didn't put any more there than I did on the sides. I didn't think. You guys are probably laughing at me. You're probably laughing at me saying, Polly, you always put too much glue. I do. I know I do. I know this about myself. I'm in a pretty good mood today, but I'm exhausted. I feel exhausted. And we haven't gone anywhere since, you know, yesterday morning. And we just stayed in all 4th of July. I worked on some of my digitals. I do have another digital in my Etsy shop. I haven't introduced it yet because I want to get the one more I'm working on in there. So 2 at a time so we can... and I'm going to straighten up some things in my Etsy because my husband didn't post some things correctly that I made as embellishments. And that's why it doesn't make sense to anybody that looks at it. And I just discovered this the other day. So, I have to really spell it out to him. He doesn't get the whole concept of what I'm talking about, but I'll sit down with him, let him do all the computer brain work. I don't even want to think about how to do it. Now, I know how to do Etsy and all that, but I'm just saying, I know how to load things. I mean, I know how to do it. I have so much to do that I don't have time to do that and do my videos, and I'm behind, and usually by now I've got several books, but lately I haven't got a bunch done because I've been so busy. So our pocket will be up here. Now we're going to flip it over. Aren't these beautiful? Okay, so we've got it where it will open to the opposite side. Do you see what I'm saying? So, we'll see why that's like that in a minute. Okay, so I have 2 red envelopes, measures 7 1/8 by 5. And I have cut out 4 pieces of cardstock, and it is cut out 1/4 inch all the way around. So just take your 7 1/8 by 5 and drop 1/4 inch on both sides. Okay, so we got 4 of these. I'm going to put those to the side. Now, we've got our first envelopes. Now, these envelopes are part of this vintage group, so they're going to match this card, okay? And so I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the first card. I'm going to take all the cards out and I'll show you as we go. This card looks pretty rough, but it's going to be covered up, okay? So we're going to open up. We're going to put the card like this, or the envelope like this, and the flap is straight up. See right here. All right. Now the flap is what we're going to glue the other card onto. See, this is on the back of this card. Okay, so we're going to put the flap between those two and we're going to glue it. those two together. So we're not, other than the one pocket right here, we're not going to have any more pockets on that portion. So I'm just going to put glue. I think I'm going to put glue stick and then put glue around the edges, because I want it to all have some glue of some sort. We wouldn't really have to do that, but I want it to look and stay down. And this will help by putting glue on the inside, and then we'll put glue, fiber fix all the way around the outside. Okay. Actually, this one is fiber tack, excuse me. They're the same thing. Okay, so we're going to just quickly run some glue just like that. And you see I'm not getting really close to the edge, so there should be no reason that this seeps out. Okay, now, oh great, great. Okay, so now we've got our flap, we've got our card. Make sure everything's in the upright position, and we're going to put it down and center it on the card. Okay. Now this would be a great thing to put in your Christmas journal. You can tuck it in, or you can put it in a big pocket somewhere. I don't know. I haven't, come up with anything yet. But if there's if you put a big bag in your journal, or you have a big bag in your journal. Oops, just a second. Let me back that off. Just a little bit. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, there we go. You want to leave just a little space so that you can have some wiggle room. I'll show you what I mean. You want it to, I think that'll be all right. Yeah, you want it to fold over. See, you don't want any kind of thing interfering with that folding over. So let me rub all this down really good so we know everything's attaching before I start attacking. When I moved that card just then to scoot it back, I got a little bit of leakage from that stupid glue, my favorite thing. Okay, let's go like this. And I'm going to try to just roll it off since it's, see if it'll come off there without any problems. Well, pretty good. Let me get the little leftover, because I really don't want to mess with the binding on this little book, because it is vintage envelopes. So you always have to be careful when you're doing a project like this. You always have to be careful that this envelope isn't overworked before you ever get it made. Okay, so there we have like a pocket. We got this. We're going to cover this with one of these cardstocks, which I like together. Okay, now we're going to bring in the other red envelope. Now you've seen me do this similar to this. I have never done it like you just saw. Okay, I'm trying to make it different, and I'm trying to make it more involved. I think that's what we do. So we're going to put this flap behind the middle flap. So we're going to glue it back here. Okay. And because it's the same color, we really wouldn't have to put anything back there, but I am going to cover it in cardstock too. So I'm just going to put glue on this flap right here, because that's really all that's going to be glued on to that part to hold it onto the other card, or envelope, I mean. I got my cards and envelopes are all coming together. So you want to leave a little bit of room, like we did last time, for the book to fold over without any problems. So now we've got this envelope. I'm going to flip these over, and I'm going to put this envelope down and try to center the envelope so they are the same height. Do you see what I'm saying? I'll get it around here in a minute after I confuse you. Now see, it will fold in, so it's in the right spot. The main thing I would say on this part is just to make sure the top is flush and the bottom's flush. Now, I'm not worried about any small little gaps, as long as it keeps it from being super crooked or something, you know, like this. There we go. So I'm going to rub it on the back, make sure this is all rubbed down good, and it is. Okay, now we've got our pocket on top behind this red bird, and then we've got this just beautiful image, no pocket, and then we've got this pocket, and we've got this pocket. And now I want us to, let me see what I would do next. Let me see, what am I going to do next? Okay, so we're going to make a pocket out of these 2 journaling cards, okay? You want them both to be in the upright position of each other, okay? Now, I'm thinking that what we'll do is glue these like a pocket, okay? So let's do that first. So we're going to make sure the top is the open area. We're going to put this glue on here. Come around to the other side. Do the same thing. Okay? All right. Now, make sure this one is in the upright position, which is the wishing you part. Set them down. Make sure they're square all around. Make sure they're actually gluing together. Press down where the glue is. Clean up any leaks that you might have from your glue, which I don't, believe it or not. Okay, so now we're going to have this pocket. Eventually, we'll probably punch a little circle there. I'm saving those for later. Okay, so we want this wishing you to be like the card over here on the right, with the top facing out like this. Now this is going to be a flip out, and that's why I needed the washi. Okay, now it is going to cover up some things here, but that's all right. That's part of the Christmas part of it. Now, I am pulling this out. I'm getting my glue stick because washi does not stick very well. Just remember that. So you have to, like, add glue stick to it. It's the better thing to do. Now, I would prefer to lay this down, add glue to the hose strip at one time to make sure I really get it glued down, but I don't really, whoops. Pardon me. It just got a little mind of its own. Let me make sure I have the right length first of all. Okay. That way I don't get it too short when I get ready. So I just put it on top of here. And I learned this from Gail, of course. She was my major inspiration when I first got started. So I'm going to lay this like this. Lay this like this, and I'm going to put this washi across the bottom right here so I can get it straight. I'm lining it up with the gold foiled area, and then I'm going to trim this just straight, okay, on both sides, so that it can go right here. Now, I am going to give it a little bit more glue on the washi part. Try not to glue everything. And I'm going to even it up here. Now, you want to center your card the best you can. Allow a little space in between the card and the envelope, and then glue it down. So how I did that was I pulled it out from the envelope, and I ran my finger here like this to make sure, you know. I could have put this down lower, so I may end up putting another piece of washi right here because it will be covered up by this, remember? So we want to make sure this is secure. So let's just do that, okay? While we're here, so we don't get around and forget about it. Okay, if I can get it to cooperate. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this straight, and I'm going to try to put it even right there. We'll see what happens. Okay, come on. Come on, come on. Be nice. Okay, here we go. You just hold it. Make sure it's not sticking to your bottle like that. And just hold your finger on there. You're going to get a little bit of glue on you. If you hold it down really good, you're going to have less problems. Okay, so let's add this washi right here. On top of the other washi, keep it as straight as you can so it will look nice here. Now I did miss a little bit right there. You can see right there, but it's going to be covered up. So I'm not concerned about that. Okay. Now we will do washi again on the other side. But let's get this rubbed down really good. And make sure we have our little space there to fold this over. Okay, but we got to secure the other side, so let's flip it over. And we're going to do the same thing right here. Now I'm going to try to be better at getting it centered, so we only have to do one. So here's our glue stick. Let's pull this out. Let's start right here. Put your finger on there. Hold your finger down really good. And don't worry about getting that glue on you, because you'll be more pleased when you know that your card that's folding out is staying down. Okay, so I'm going to push that up so you can see, and we're going to start right here. So let's try to put this one down under this line this time. I think it gives us equal placement here. Now, I do want to try to do it as even with the end of the card as I can. So before I get too involved in sticking it down, I'm going to trim it. Okay. So there we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. If it's off a tiny bit, don't worry. See, like that's kind of slanting out. I can always go back and fix that. It's washi, so you can pull it up, even with the glue. Okay, so let's see if I can get this one straight. Okay. That one's better. So let's go over here and do the other side. If I can. I'm trying to get all this other washi off my fingers. Okay, so I'm just going to raise this up a little bit. Because see, it's still just washi. So I'm going to straighten it up just because we can. Okay, that part's done. Now let me show you what we've got so far. We got a lot of washi here, but it's going to be covered up. And if we feel like we need more on the other side in a minute, we'll add some more because I don't want it coming off. Okay, so let me make sure this will fold forward. It's pretty tight. But I gave it that little space, so it should be fine. Okay. All right, and then it folds in, and then it folds in. Okay, everything's on there. I think I am going to add more tape here. That won't take but a second. And I think I'll go ahead and try to measure it before I get the glue on it. See if that doesn't help. It gives you two options of different ways to do it. Okay, because this is going to be covered, I'm not too worried about it. You know, I should have just not even worried about trimming those little edges. It's just the perfectionist in me. I try not to be. I try not to make my junk look perfect, but it's hard for me. Okay, that's probably the hardest part of me junk journaling. I think not everybody wants it to look like junk. That's my theory. And so I'm going to hold this down really tight, get it the right direction, and then keep it on there with your finger and pull it all the way down. I don't put any washi on anything that I don't glue, just so you know. And I think that's important. Now this one's going to be covered up, but we know now that our little card is not going anywhere. Okay, let me get my hole punch so we can punch this one and show that it's a pocket. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold it up here and just make a little punch. I just want to make sure it's centered. I'm eyeballing it, as you can see. So there, yeah. Perfect, right? Well, as perfect as you can be eyeballing it. Okay, so over here, we had this pocket up here. And I do guess we should do that because people will just think it's matted on here if we don't. So my thing is I should have done it first. So we're going to have to slide this down in there. And I'm going to turn the card around so I can see the back of the hole punch so I don't overdo it, right? And hope that I can get it centered the best I can. Keep your fingers crossed. Not bad, huh? Not bad. This was not quite dry when I pulled it up, so I hope this doesn't give me trouble. That's a little bit of glue right there, too. Hanging out. To come back and get me later. Okay, so this is what we've got. Let's fold it in so you can see that we've got our pocket. One more time. Just our little cardinals there. This is going to have this, which we're about to put on. Okay. Fold out, pocket. Now, we're going to make these two pockets too. So what I thought was let's decorate the inside first. I'm not inking anything. You could ink if you wanted, but this is Christmas and I'm not inking a lot of Christmas stuff. I think it looks brighter when it's not inked. So to each their own on that, right? Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. All of these are measured a 1/4 inch shorter than 7 1/8 by 5, which is the envelope size. Okay. Now, I want to punch the pocket on both sides. So let's just put them together and punch them at the same time. Now, we are going to try to center them the best we can. It's not a big deal if they're off a little bit. So these are going to go like this and like this. Now, I'm wondering, I'm going to have to pull this one all the way over because to the red. Make sure this still folds. Yeah, it does. And I'm going to do the same with this one and pull it all the way to the end of the red. That way you can, you know, see what you're working with. Now on here, we're just going to glue this area. Do not glue on the inside of your pocket. Do not glue on the inside of your pocket. See, this is the flap, or not the flap, but the opening to your envelope. Only glue up here. And I'm going to put glue stick and then go around the edges with Fabri-Tac, just because it's much faster. It holds just as well. I'm finding out I'm starting to love my glue stick since collaging came around. And it is strong. I've tried to pull stuff up before with no luck. So there we go. I'm gluing onto the red card rather than, but leave a little bit of border on here, you know, around the outside. Make sure you don't glue all the way to the edge like I probably just did, but we can fix it. I have the technology. Then I'm just going to put a little bit right there. Okay. I just want to make sure this one section is really going to be glued down. Okay, so here we go. We're going to keep it all the way to the bottom portion of the envelope. Allow a little bit of a border. I hope you guys are enjoying this Christmas project. Before we know it, we're going to blink and Christmas is going to be here because it's already July. It's crazy. Today is July 5th. I feel like I just said, oh, tomorrow's spring, you know. But now see, this is already getting weak. See that right there? So we're going to add washi on these back one, this back one and this back one before we glue, before we put the other side on. That's what I was afraid of, but this is the deal. Even when they're not vintage, I've had them come apart. So I think what I would recommend to you is always have your envelopes, flaps, reinforced by washi. That's the best way to put it. And I should have done that knowing these were vintage. My fault on that. But I want to rub this on here really good. Get off any excess glue. And now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it on the back, not on the front. Let's see what we get by doing that. Let's see what we get. Okay, so I'm using the glue stick. And I'm actually going to put it on the seam. On this one. See, just really load it down with glue stick. Pull out your washi. Where is my washi? Just had it right in front of me. There it is. We're not going to glue it on the front because we have those pockets, right? But we're going to put it right here where it's not going to come apart. And this will show probably around the outside. But that's all right. It's Christmassy. So, yeah. Now, over here will be a little harder. Because, let me see. No, I don't want that folding over. Not right now, anyway. I might change my mind about that. But over here, we have our cardinal. So, and this is where the seam is. Let me see which side would be the best. We should do it back here. Now, it may show a little bit. I'm trying to just put it on the red. And I'm going to tuck it up as much as I can underneath. I'll show you what I mean. You've got to get it on the red on the flap too, because it's going to, you know, I don't want it to run how we've got the front done. We should have just done this to start with. Shame on me. Well, I didn't know. At the moment, I wasn't thinking about that. I'll be quite honest. I'm going to go all the way up to this white. border and support the seam of the envelope. Yeah, there we go. If you think ahead, you know, before you start putting your mats and stuff down, this is perfect. All right, so I wonder, see on this inside now, this one that was wanting to tear is supported, so we don't have to worry about that. So let's go ahead and trim. Let's go ahead and put these up like that, and I'm gonna go ahead and trim these off straight. Wrong scissors. Don't cut your envelope. I say that because I've done it. Let's do this one up here. We'll go ahead and trim it. Okay. I'm going to flip it around so we can get it to the other side. Get this tape off my scissors and cut this side as well. Let's do this one here at the top. Now, if you wanted to take this project further, you could. You could do some flip outs on the tops or the bottoms. But I just wanted it to be something that you understood. But I will tell you, if you want to do that, I will tell you how to do it. Just 1 second. So you could take more Christmas journaling cards, or you could take more, just more Christmas cardstock or something. And didn't get this as straight as I want. Just a moment. There we go. Okay, now if you wanted to do another flap up or down, so let's say you know how we did this journaling card over here, it will be done the same way with washi, or you can hinge it with cardstock. I think it looks better with washi. I think it flips in and out better. It's not as stiff, okay? So you could cut this just slightly smaller right here, and you put the two sides together, and you would washi back here and flip it over on the other side. Make sure it's washied on both sides. And then you would flip it up and washi it in here. And then you'd have a flip up. You do the very same thing on the bottom. Do it like this, and you'd have a flip down. You could do both sections. You could do all sections. You make that decision. Okay, now we're going to come over here, and we're going to cover up this section with our glue stick really well. We want this paper to stay down. And what I would say to you, at Christmas time, journaling cards in these pockets would be good. Okay, so we're going to put some glue around the outside edge. Come on, glue. I don't have a very big hole poked in that, and it doesn't like it. It slows it down, but it works better as far as volcanoes coming out of my glue. Well, it didn't do great on that side, did it? I'll have to go back and get that. Don't want it to puddle any more than necessary. I'm going to use my finger on this. Keep it from puddling down. Get my wipey, wipe my finger. That's now covered in glue. Okay, so now, see how this one is seeping over a little bit? I'm going to get that so it doesn't glue it closed. Okay, here we go. We're going to line it up with the one in the back. We're going to bring it all the way down to the bottom portion of the envelope. I forgot to think about the border. I was talking about other things. But we can at least see, if we decide we need a bigger punch here to get the stuff into those pockets, you just improvise. You figure out how to do it and make them bigger. Okay. Yeah, I'm leaking glue everywhere today, like a crazy woman. Sadie did not like the fireworks last night. Rick took her out with him when he went out first, and she just did not like them. She was like, no, thank you very much. So we didn't make a big deal out of it, and she came back in the house, and I ended up staying with her. I didn't spend much time out there. It was super hot for me. I can't handle a lot of heat. I'm very hot-natured. So, I had the air conditioner on 66 yesterday, guys. Wouldn't you love to have your air conditioner on 66? I was hot and still, my face was still red. I had problems with it, and nobody can really tell me what's causing it. It's not menopause, trust me. Okay, because I even tried taking estrogen to see if that would help, and it didn't. So, bummer, right? Okay, so we got some glue back here, but that's going to be covered. We're looking good so far. All right, we got to finish this up. We're at 40 minutes. Okay, so this side is pretty much done. Now, I will tell you this. You can decorate the inside of this however you would like. I might come up with something and we can finish this off in another video. But let's go ahead and get the other pockets down on the reverse side while I turn the fan on. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You know that I have to end up doing it every video, but these lights just, whew, they add to my problem of being hot. Okay. So, on these, the pockets are going to be on the top. So what I suggest is, now I will tell you this while I'm looking, I would pull this card cover, the pocket cover, over to this section. The reason is because we don't have washi all the way to the top and bottom. We decided not to do that, or I decided not to do that. And this way, it's not as noticeable. Don't take it over the washi, but just show a tiny bit of the red so you know you're in a good spot. Now, we're going to punch the tops of these. Let's do like this. Get our little hole punch out. There we go. So let's do this one on the left side first. I'm going to wipe off the tip of this glue and see if it won't help it go a little faster. We're just going to put it on the right and left side and across the bottom. This would be a great thing in your journal to hold your letter to Santa, receipts, you know, anything you want. It would be great for that. Or just a wish list, you know, something like that. I know everybody likes cardinals, so I kind of thought we'd do the cardinals this way, but you can do any cards in this fashion. Get it down right here. Make sure it's straight across the bottom. Okay. Here we go. Awesome. You could decorate this with holly. I'd stick with the red and green theme if you decorate with it. And the wood grain kind of look here. Has some snowflakes on here, so you could use snowflakes. And let's see where we want this one to be. I think we're going to do it the same way where we kind of bring it over a little bit. That way it kind of looks spaced correct. All right. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Now line it up at the bottom so they're the same height. And yeah, whoops, hold still. Ooh, I like the way it looks. I like how it's turning out. You guys tell me what you think. I think what would really be pretty on this is like it's a door and hang like a wreath. I got to come up with some wreaths. I'll try to do that between now and the next time. Maybe we'll make the wreaths and hang them on here. That sounds fun, right? I know how to do that. I may already have something that does it. I'll have to look and see. It's terrible when you have so many stamps and die cuts and, you know, like I know I have this giant Santa tag, but he's too big. But isn't he cute? I found him a while ago. I thought, that is nuts. I was in a tag competition, or a tag monthly tag club. So you'd make 5 tags and you'd get 5 tags back by whoever made them, you know, whoever else was in the group. It was fun. Did it for a while, then I got too busy doing other stuff. That was when I didn't have a thing to do. Okay, so here we go. In, nope, wrong. Start over. in, over. And then we've got our cute little, and I'm thinking we could put like Merry Christmas on here somewhere. I'll have to see what we can come up with. But I like the whole idea of doing, let me grab my little thing I have over here, this little envelope full of little die cuts that I just took off of something that had a little, oh yeah, and this looks like it's punched with a scallop, but it looks the opposite way. So I'll have to see if I have some more wreaths, and if I do, if I have 4 different kinds, that would be fun too, right? I'll have to dig through my stuff and see what I can come up with. If so, we're gonna do wreaths just like that. Okay guys, I hope you had fun in this Christmas in July video. Now, we will decorate this together and we will do some more things in the month of December. I won't forget about our collage book. I'll try to do it about every other time. This is replacing, Christmas in July is replacing tags. I'm going to be working on my sewing book, and I will show you periodically what I've done and how to do some things if necessary. It's going to be pretty simple compared to some books. So, yeah. I wish I had a cardinal book. I do have a cardinal book. I will be making all kinds of, just so you know, to prepare yourself. You know, it's December Daily comes along and everybody wants a Christmas book. If you know for sure you want a Christmas book, start sending me messages through conversation at Etsy and letting me know that you're interested in a Christmas book and some different themes that you like. And if I have the theme that will interest you, I mean, you can't just come up with, you know, any old book. You got to have a theme. You got to have the right book. I do a lot of little golden books at Christmas, and I've been collecting them. There's a, you know, they're pretty much only so many Christmas ones. And so you just kind of like, you got like Snowman, Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Christmas tree that grew. I've got Mickey Mouse, Christmas. I've got Nutcracker. I've got 12 Days of Christmas. These are just some I know I have. I do have one Cardinal book, but it's not a little golden book. And just other things. And then I'll cover some books too, like I did last year. And if I find a paper pad that's just really pretty, I will use that for one book. And so I know I will be doing a pink Christmas book, not the same one as last year, but something similar. So that's all I know so far. So if you have some ideas that you want, let me know. Or if you want to put in a custom order now so it can be done before it gets crazy. All right, guys, I enjoyed today's video. I hope you did. And we'll figure out the reef thing and do something else in one of the near future videos. Probably after the tear book. Bye, guys. Subscribe if you haven't.